That's crazy.
No, it's incredible.
Those are two of the best, like, of this era. I think he's one of the best of all time. I really do. I think he's one of the best heavyweights of all time. And his movement.
It's an unbelievable spectacle, and the ring keep providing us with these crazy spectacles and crazy events. It's the location for this one that's just, I can't get my head around it. It'll be the experience of a lifetime. You break it down, and when it comes to the fight, Rico Verhoeven is a problem. He's a problem, and we don't actually know much about him from a boxing perspective, but we know nothing really. He's had one bout, and you cannot take anything from that at all. His kickboxing experience tells you an awful lot.
Dude, he's so big now. Have you seen him? Have you seen the most recent photos? He put some photos on Instagram of him training, and he took pictures of him with his shirt off. You're like, what? Jesus Christ, he looks like he's about 250 now, something like that, and he's a big giant dude. He's always been a big giant dude, but he's like super muscled out.
Yeah, for me it was like, why not accept the challenge? It is, like you said, he's considered arguably like one of the best boxers to ever do it. So what an honor and what an opportunity I have. I've conquered everything within the sport of kickboxing, and now getting the opportunity to do it within the sport of boxing, I love it. Like, never get comfortable.
Boxing insiders are absolutely stunned after seeing the latest transformation of Rico Verhoeven, with Eddie Hearn himself reportedly shocked by how massive and powerful he now looks. Many in the boxing world are saying Rico has turned into a completely different physical beast ahead of this crossover clash, and even Alexander Usyk supporters are starting to take notice of the size difference.
It was the most exhausted he's ever been, because he's always moving. There's no rest with him. There's like constant, there's constant twitching.
Under fire the whole time.
You're constantly thinking, when is this coming?
Tony Bellew highlights the massive challenge ahead and also acknowledges the physical evolution of Rico Verhoeven, whose size and physique are now being talked about all across the boxing world. Many fans and experts are shocked at how powerful and well-built Rico looks heading into this crossover clash, adding even more intrigue to whether that physical presence can trouble Alexander Usyk in a pure boxing setting.
If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Alexander Usyk, this is a boxing match. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass, and that awkwardness and stance and style Alexander Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night's work.
I mean, some were saying it could change boxing forever if he wins, Rico. How does Rico go about trying to solve that puzzle, obviously?
It'd be the greatest shock boxing's ever seen. If Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Alexander Usyk, it will be the greatest victory in boxing history.
Listen, when I was young, I too using kickboxing, boxing, but I like.
Nobody told me that.
I like, but not like this. Yeah, the crazy man, the legs.
Maybe he throws a high kick.
Yeah, but I like kick and legs on street. Oof, yeah, low kick, my giri. That's
nice.
Yeah, we training then my coach is not kickboxing coach, it's like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing is one coach, but another sport is like a crazy man. But then I look for a good coach. It's my first coach, Lapin, Sergey, yes, it's, good. My father said, hey, try boxing. I said, okay.
And here you are.
Huh?
And here you are. You tried it and you've done well.
Yeah.
Tony Bellew puts the entire fight into perspective and makes it clear just how huge the task is for Rico Verhoeven. He explains that Alexander Usyk is not just a champion but a fully active prime fighter who has beaten elite giants like Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois at their very best. Bellew stresses that Rico is stepping into a completely different level of boxing challenge where even one mistake could be costly.
Dude, he's so big now. Have you seen him? Have you seen the most recent photos? He put some photos on Instagram of him training, and he took pictures of him with his shirt off. You're like, what? Jesus Christ, he looks like he's about 250 now, something like that, and he's a big giant dude. He's always been a big giant dude, but he's like super muscled out.
Joe Rogan highlights the growing trend of crossover fights in combat sports and how they are changing the way fans view elite competition. He points out that modern fighters are now stepping outside their traditional disciplines and testing themselves in completely different environments. This adds more pressure and curiosity around the Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven clash, where styles and experience from two different worlds are set to collide.
Little space, and I can see how the monetization vehicle of this works, but Usyk wouldn't be doing this unless there's a reason for it. There must be a motivation behind it. It must be some form of derivative as to what happened between the various disciplines crossing over with Ngannou and...
Max Kellerman gives a strong opinion on Alexander Usyk's current condition and believes the champion is still operating at his absolute peak. He even notes that Usyk looks physically stronger than before, almost like a completely upgraded version of himself. While he respects Rico Verhoeven's achievements, he makes it clear that in a pure boxing environment Usyk still holds a major advantage in skill, timing, and ring intelligence.
Dude, he's so big now. Have you seen him? You seen the most recent photos? He put some photos on Instagram of him training, and he took pictures of him with his shirt off. And you're like, what? Jesus Christ, he looks like he's about 250 now, something like that. And he's a big giant dude. He's always been a big giant dude, but he's like super muscled out.
Wade Plemons comes in with a very emotional and strongly opinionated breakdown of this matchup, clearly showing frustration at the idea of Alexander Usyk defending his position against a crossover fighter like Rico Verhoeven. He acknowledges the appeal of circus-style fights in boxing and even references the Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury example, but he draws a sharp line when comparing it to Usyk's situation. In his view, Usyk is a far more complete and technical boxer who does not carry the same level of vulnerability, which makes this matchup feel even more one-sided on paper. Still, he does admit the unpredictable nature of combat sports where one clean shot from Rico could change everything. But overall he questions why the undisputed champion is taking this kind of risk against someone with so little professional boxing experience at elite level.
This is not a fight I am a massive fan of, and now that I'm free, now that I can kind of, be more open about my opinions on this fight, I fucking hate this fight. I can't stand it. I understand the circus nature of it in terms of like big name kickboxer, one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, coming in to fight an all-time great in the boxing space in his sport. We saw it with Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. The only difference there was, I think, more fans of Francis Ngannou, more of a what-if factor because of his punching power and because Fury was 550 pounds in that fight. Accurate, not even exaggerating. We got a masterpiece in terms of what Francis did to the current heavyweight champion of the world. Now, this is a little different because Alexander Usyk is a massively different operator than Tyson Fury. He is a far better technical boxer than anyone at heavyweight, and he isn't really susceptible to one-punch KO power the same way Fury is when he comes in out of shape and blubbery. Now, is there the off chance that Rico catches Alexander Usyk? Yeah, sure. I understand. It's a fight. Anything can happen. But why is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world not just taking a recess from fighting the biggest and best boxers on the planet when he is the sitting champion, but also putting his title on the line to fight a kickboxer with one professional boxing match in his career? That's the big part that really...
Rico Verhoeven speaks with calm confidence as he explains the power and control behind his fighting style. He makes it clear that he is not just relying on raw strength, but also precision and timing when he lands shots. His transition from kickboxing to boxing is presented as a serious evolution rather than a casual crossover, and he genuinely believes his punching power can translate effectively into the boxing ring. This is exactly why so many fans are starting to view him as a dangerous physical presence for Alexander Usyk, rather than just an outsider stepping into unfamiliar territory.
Always like very calculated, but yeah, when I connect, I connect. Like I said, there's a lot of weight behind these punches. So yeah, of course, within the kickboxing sport, I was used to just throwing the kicks and doing my thing. But now we get the opportunity to use the hands more. So Peter is like, oh, he's like crazy excited.
Liam Goff delivers one of the most critical takes in this entire discussion, as he labels the fight a pure gimmick and questions the legitimacy of Rico Verhoeven receiving a world title opportunity. He focuses heavily on Rico's limited boxing record and argues that such a resume does not justify a shot at the WBC Heavyweight Championship. At the same time, he acknowledges Alexander Usyk's elite ranking and dominance in the division. which only adds more controversy to the matchmaking decision. His reaction reflects a large section of boxing purists who feel this fight prioritizes entertainment over sporting merit.
This is a joke. This is nothing but a gimmick fight, and it's even more shameless considering the fact, one, it's on pay-per-view, and two, it's for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Does Rico Verhoeven, with his one win over a decade ago against the guy who was 0-5, deserve a world title shot? Answers on a postcard. Can you play the recorder? No. That's the answer. This is shocking. Shocking stuff from Alexander Usyk. This is Alexander Usyk picking money over legacy.
Fabio Wardley gives a more balanced and respectful reaction as he tries to understand the reasoning behind Alexander Usyk choosing Rico Verhoeven as an opponent. He admits that Usyk has earned the freedom to pick his fights, but still expresses surprise that the choice was not a more established professional boxer. While he does not disrespect Rico's kickboxing background, he clearly draws a line between elite boxing experience and crossover ability. His comments reflect the wider uncertainty in the boxing world about how this fight should be judged competitively.
And he's kind of earned the right to do what you want, but I at least expected it to be some sort of active boxer, someone of some... Not to say I don't actually know much about Verhoeven in terms of a kickboxer, of what his quality level is, but what I'm saying is I expected it to be someone of a decent caliber of a professional boxer. But if it's not, then fine. Look, do your thing, do you, and hopefully he returns to actual professional boxing against some of the top elites.
Dave Allen speaks from personal experience as someone who has shared the ring in sparring with Rico Verhoeven, giving him credibility when assessing Rico's ability. He respects Rico's achievements in kickboxing and even acknowledges that he has decent boxing skills, but he is firm in his belief that there is a major gap between that and elite heavyweight boxing. In his view, a fight against Alexander Usyk at world championship level would be far too one-sided and would make more sense as an exhibition rather than a sanctioned professional bout.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in... I like Rico Verhoeven, sparred him, know him, nice fella, very good kickboxer, one of the best of all time, but he's not a boxer. If he wants to fight...
Can he box?
Yeah, he can box, he's a very good boxer, but he shouldn't be boxing the best heavyweight in the world. If he wants to do it as an exhibition, go and do it. I'm not interested in Usyk Verhoeven, just for the simple fact it's a myth.
Rico Verhoeven openly praises Alexander Usyk and draws a strong comparison between their dominance in two different combat sports. He sees Usyk as the boxing version of himself, a champion who has ruled his division with consistency and elite performances over many years.
And Alexander Usyk is the Rico Verhoeven in boxing.
Yeah.
So like he's been dominating for so long and in such phenomenal fashion. So I was like, wow, if we could do this, that would be like the cherry on the cake.
Peter Fury highlights the mutual interest from both camps and confirms that this is not a forced matchup, but something both fighters have shown willingness to pursue. He describes them as ultimate fighting men, recognizing the competitive mentality of both Alexander Usyk and Rico Verhoeven. From his perspective, when two elite champions from different disciplines are interested, making the fight becomes much more realistic. His tone also adds a sense of excitement and legitimacy to the crossover narrative, suggesting that this is not just hype but a fight that naturally attracted both sides due to ambition and legacy.
Rico wanted the fight, Usyk wanted it. They said both ultimate fighting men, aren't they? So fights like this are not going to be hard to make.
Peter Fury highlights the mutual interest from both camps and confirms that this is not a forced matchup, but something both fighters have shown willingness to pursue. He describes them as ultimate fighting men, recognizing the competitive mentality of both Alexander Usyk and Rico Verhoeven. From his perspective, when two elite champions from different disciplines are interested, making the fight becomes much more realistic. His tone also adds a sense of excitement and legitimacy to the crossover narrative, suggesting that this is not just hype but a fight that naturally attracted both sides due to ambition and legacy.
Alexander Usyk steps in and will take on one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. I'm actually quite a big kickboxing fan, so I know quite a lot about him. I've watched a few of his fights over the years. They used to call him the Prince of Kickboxing, then he elevated to the King of Kickboxing. I mean, he's a very, very, very good kickboxer who's got decent hands. I can't lie to you, it's funny.
Rico Verhoeven openly praises Alexander Usyk and draws a strong comparison between their dominance in two different combat sports. He sees Usyk as the boxing version of himself, a champion who has ruled his division with consistency and elite performances over many years.